Oh, hello YouTube. I didn't see you there. Well, I guess since you're visiting my garage, might as well tell you a few stories. Kill some time. Um, as you know, I own a lot of vehicles and have owned a lot of vehicles, and a lot of people always ask me about those. One of the things is, do I regret selling any? And obviously, with buying and selling a lot of vehicles comes a lot of regret, or some regret, depending who you are. For me, a lot of regret. So I guess today we'll go over the top 5 vehicles that I regret selling. Before number 1, we'll do a few honorable mentions. And just to keep this video short, we'll only go over a few quick details of most of the vehicles, a few minutes. If anybody wants me to do a more detailed breakdown of any of the vehicles, just let me know. Now, the first one, it's kind of actually 2. Kind of cheating a little bit here. It's actually Stinky the Pathfinder and my Nissan Hardbody. Now, Stinky was my first Nissan ever. If you follow the channel, you know that I've had quite a few of these Pathfinders and Hardbodies. That was the one that started it all for me. I actually got that one by accident. It was a buddy wanted to get rid of it. I had a Chevy he wanted, so we ended up trading. And I wheeled it for a while, daily drove for a while. Great truck. Had some problems with it and owed a guy money, so I ended up trading him the truck for what I owed him. I kept a lot of parts off of it though, luckily. And the other one, the Hardbody, if you follow the channel, you know I had to pay some bills, so I sold it. Made a decent profit off of it, and the guy I sold it to tried to blame me for a lot of problems that he was having later on, which don't really apply to me. So where both trucks ended up, I ended up getting Stinky back, but it was trashed, so I ended up scrapping it, but I made some money in the process. As for the Hardbody, I don't know where it is. I thought I saw it driving down a road the one day like a year ago. Other than that, I haven't talked to the guy who bought it. I have no idea. And coming in number 4, my crew cab. Not that crew cab. I had one before that called Big Ugly. Name kind of speaks for itself. It was my dad's truck. I bought it off of him, or technically I bought it off my brother after my dad gave it to my brother. My dad was really mad at that. Anyways, truck was a great truck. It was on propane, had like 750,000 kilometers on it. It was just an amazing truck, but it was, like I said, kind of mild out, started having problems, and the insurance company screwed some things up, so I ended up being forced to scrap the truck. I still have quite a few parts off of it. Coming in number 3, my high school rig, Ricky the Jeep. It's named Ricky because the license plate I got for it was Rudd. Ricky Rudd. I know, hilarious. I'm so clever and funny. Anyways, yeah, it was my nice little Jeep through high school. Had a 318 in it, all-wheel drive. Really great little truck. But because I was a teenager, I was really hard on it, especially since I lived in the middle of nowhere. There was lots of off-road opportunities, and it eventually became a little rundown and turned into a full off-road rig. Built some bumpers, winches, snorkel the works, and wheeled the crap out of it until it finally died. Coming in number 2 is Molly the S10. It was lower on the list until my roommate recently just bought his S10, which is really sweet. So I kind of miss it a little more than I used to. Really great little truck, 5-speed in it, 2.2. I lowered it a little more in the front. Had a nice rake, nice stance with some nice 17s and low pros. Everybody tried to race it because it looked fast, but like I said, it was a stock 2.2 in it. So yeah, that was kind of funny seeing people try to race me, and I'm just like, bro, it's 2.2. What happened to that one was the slave cylinder went. I didn't feel like having to pull the whole tranny out. It actually went while I was at work, so it sat at work for like 6 months. And then I ended up acquiring my dad's Beaumont, so that took up kind of its place in the garage. And then my boss wanted it out of work for obvious reasons, and so I ended up selling it. Luckily, it went to a father-daughter. The father was into hot rods and everything, had a really nice OBS that he came to look at the S10 in. And it was going to be her first car. It was going to be a father-daughter rebuild, so I'm really happy it went to them. And I've seen it since. They've sent me pictures of it, and it's properly lowered now. It's all back on the road, and it's really nice. So it went to a good home. All right, now before number one, we'll go into some quick honorable mentions. Nasty Bitch, my mud truck. Technically, I still have bits and pieces of it all over. Some of it's under the Suburban, some of it's under the crew cab, or now actually under the Wrangler, if you've been following the channel. The cab is still in the back of my dad's truck. Yeah, it's all over the place, but most of it's gone now, and I do miss that truck. My 90K 1500. Technically, I sort of own this one. Technically, I didn't. It was my dad's, and he kind of left the picture for a while, and I was going to fix it up for my mom. And then a buddy of mine was actually going to fix it up. He took it to fix it, and then he just disappeared and never returned. So technically, the truck was stolen, but I don't even have a VIN number off the truck to go off of to report it or try to track it down, and I haven't been able to hear from him since. So there's that one. My 88 Jeep YJ, wanted to turn into a Jurassic Park Jeep, just never got around to it. It had incredible blow-by in the engine, and then the water pump went and overheated the crap out of it. And then after I fixed all the overheating issues, it just had so much blow-by, and I ended up selling it for a lot more than what I paid for it. So the next one is the best vehicle I ever owned. It was a 78 Mustang II Fastback. Never had an engine in it the entire time I owned it, but it was the best vehicle I ever owned. We may talk about that in an upcoming video. 95 Jeep ZJ. It's kind of supposed to be a replacement for Ricky. I got it off my mom, but I needed a more reliable daily driver that was better on fuel, and ended up trading it for my Golf, which is the next on the list. My Volkswagen Golf. If you've watched the channel, you know that I ended up getting rid of it a while ago when I got the Lada. But it was the most expensive free car I have ever had, but it was so fun. It was so slow, but it's so much fun to drive a slow car fast. A little 5-speed manual in it, and like 74 horsepower, and it was just fun. And got like 1,000 miles per gallon. Which brings me to the next one that I just mentioned, my Lada Niva. Again, had to sell it to pay bills. Made some profit off of that one. I had it for only a few months. I never even got it running. If you'd like to see more of that one, there are some videos of it on my channel. Which brings us to number one, my most regrettable sell, my 80K 1500. It was just an amazing truck. It came with a small block in it and a 4-speed. The small block was toast. I put my big block in it, which is now the very same big block that's in the Beaumont. It was just rowdy with that engine. I had it on my 44s for a while, but most of the time it was on the 35s. Had 11 inches of lift, 8 lug diffs, and it was just so much fun. I bought it off a buddy, and I had it for a few years. And then that was when my grandfather's company shut down and we all lost our jobs, so I had to sell it. I sold it to a buddy who purchased it and then tormented me that he owned it. He knew how much the truck meant to me, and he'd always threatened that he's going to scrap it or purposely crash it and wreck it and just cut it up and all this stuff. But he ended up selling it. He ended up ripping off the next guy who bought it. I think I sold it to him for $2,000 with a set of 44s and a set of 35s. He sold the 35s and then sold the whole truck with a blown motor. It drove when I had it. He blew the engine up and then sold it to a guy for like $5,000 and told him all these lies about it, that it had lockers and built up engine when it was just a stock 350 when I sold it. It didn't have the 454, as you know. I've kept that. So yeah, and it's gone a couple further. I'd like to track it down. Last I heard, it was about 3 hours north of here. I bought it from 3 hours south of here, so it just keeps going further north. That was about 7 or 8 years ago when I sold it. So where it is now, I have no idea. Although I wouldn't mind tracking it down. I have no money to buy it, but I at least would like to know where it is. Hopefully it doesn't have a sad fate of being scrapped. The last guy I talked to that owned it was the guy after the guy who got ripped off. So 3 owners after me. And he wasn't sure what to do with it. He was going to park it for a while, maybe fix it up, maybe get rid of it. He wasn't sure. So it could have had another 9 owners by then. It could be in a scrapyard. It could be sitting in the field. I have no idea. It could be a show truck by now. But maybe we'll try to track that down on a future episode of Frick Garage. Thanks for watching. This has been fun talking about my vehicles. If you'd like more story time videos like this, maybe some more detailed about certain vehicles, I might go through a list of all the vehicles that I've owned, talk about them, and how much I've made or lost, and which ones I still own. So yeah, keep the rubber side down, all that fancy stuff, like and subscribe, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. Have a good night.